Welcome, everyone, to episode 13 of Around the Book podcast. This week, we are going to be getting into week 12 of NFL and week 13. Is it week 13 in college? Or,
Yeah.
yeah.
Rivalry week.
Yeah, rivalry week. Right. I'm getting all mixed up now because I got my weeks all mixed up. Yes, rivalry week. Oh, I can't talk. Anyways, let's move on. Last week was not good for me. I went 1-3. My NFL picks were actually pretty close to hitting. I had the Steelers money line. They lost by 3. I don't know how they lost that game, but whatever. And then I had the over as well in the Eagles and Chiefs game, and then that just turned into a freaking defensive battle in the second half. So, not too happy with how last week went. What about you guys? I know before we do get started, Jake's not going to be here, but he did go. Was he the one that went 4-0, or was that you, Dalton?
That was Jake.
Yeah, Jake went 4-0. Yeah, he is on fire. So. I think it's our first 4-0 or JT, have you had a 4-0 yet?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I remember you had a bunch of 3-1s when we very first started. But yeah, he's our first 4-0. So good for him. Hopefully we can get another one this week. Maybe we'll all go 4-0. We'll go 12-0. And then today we're gonna have our anytime touchdown parlay as well as some Thanksgiving parlays, some surprising bets as far as you might think we're just going to be doing football for all these, but we actually, someone here is going to be doing a basketball parlay for Thanksgiving, or he will just be adding some games into them. So we'll get into that. But before we get started, what about your guys' last week? What do you think? Any thoughts?
Before last week, can we officially brand this as a Turkey Day parlay? Just because I like the pun, play on word there, a little rhyme action.
Yes, this will be our Turkey Day parlays. Yeah, and I have a special name for my bet as well, but they will all be categorized as Turkey Day parlays.
Well, my bets were all right last week, though. I went 2-2. I split in college and NFL. I will say the one hockey bet I gave last week as a 3-leg parlay did hit. I didn't win any money off it because I went crazy and added another leg after the show. It took my odds from 1,000 to 5,000. So I thought, what's one more leg for those odds? And I did it, and I regretted it because it didn't hit.
Yeah, I regretted it too because I traded you on it.
But
I almost just put it in without that last leg. Yeah,
I gave people free money if they took that parlay last week.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take credit for that. At least someone hopefully is profiting.
Yeah, I went 1-1, or I went 2-2 again, second week in a row. But my college units keep climbing because I hit another underdog with that UCLA game.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it. But man, couldn't get 2-0 though. The Utah-Arizona game didn't look bad up until late, and then just fell apart in the fourth quarter. And then NFL. My only regret NFL is not picking Giants money line, and then obviously the Jets are a disappointment.
Yeah,
not fun.
I think disappointment's letting them off a little easy.
Yeah, I mean Zach Wilson's just bad.
Is there a football team in that state that isn't disappointing this year?
Yeah,
in the state of New York.
No, the Bills are pretty disappointing right now.
They're fighting for their playoff lives.
Yeah.
The Giants were a playoff team last year, and I think we all expected some regression, but it's brutal.
Yeah. And the Jets just...
They remain
We'll see what Tim Boyle can do now.
Yeah.
Tim Boyle.
Yeah.
When Tim Boyle's playing, it's dire straits.
How did he get a job in the NFL? It makes no sense.
I mean, he didn't. I think he was originally in Green Bay, right? That was where he first got some playing time, I think.
Yeah, but how did he get there? Like you look at, I know everyone keeps saying Rodgers likes him, but like how did he get there?
Because he was a backup in college, wasn't he?
Yeah, his college stats are like very few, and they're terrible. Like they're not good.
Well, I mean, that's how Matt Castle was back in the day. I don't think he ever started at USC.
No, I don't think he did either.
And he's just a backup in the NFL for like 2 decades. It's just one of those random things.
Yeah,
Except
so
Tim
he
Boyle actually
started-
stinks.
So he started 10 games at UConn and then transferred to Eastern Kentucky, where he started 11 games as a redshirt senior and led the Ohio Valley Conference. The
That's
prestigious Ohio Valley
Yeah,
Conference.
Not even Western Kentucky.
yeah,
A respectable Hilltoppers team.
yeah.
Eastern Kentucky, they're what, the Norsemen?
No, that's Northern Kentucky. That's where I'm
Northern
from.
Kentucky, that's
Yeah,
right.
Eastern Kentucky's the Colonels. Yeah.
Unorthodox, we'll say it like that.
Yeah. All right. So I guess we'll just get into it. We'll start off with our NCAA picks. I'm going to go with my lock of the week. I got North Carolina -3. I have it at -110. I think North Carolina's going to be able to cover this. I think they'll end up winning. Well, obviously, before I get started into that, they are playing North Carolina State, so this is a rivalry for them. North Carolina State has won the past 2 games of this rivalry, but it's only with a combined 7 points, so it's not like they're going out there and blowing them out. I think this is like a Drake May 1 year less, like hurrahs to show yourself. So I think he's got to put up some stats here, and I think they'll cover this. I think they'll beat North Carolina State by 7 to 10 points if I had to guess. But that's my lock of the week. And then my underdog, this one is a personal one for me, and I can't ever say that I get this opportunity much to bet on this team as an underdog. So I have to take it here, and that's an Ohio State money line at +134. I think it's at +136 right now on FanDuel, but Ohio State money line all day. They have to. This is the game. They have to get up. They have to be able to get on the ball. They have to be able to win this one. If Ryan Day loses for a 3rd time, not looking good. And with all these allegations, with the cheating, whatever, blah blah blah. I'm not going to get into it, but if you end up losing to them after bringing all this attention to it and like playoffs on the line, there's no room. I don't think there's room for a 1-loss team in the playoffs this year. So whoever loses this game is probably not getting into the playoffs. Have fun at the Rose Bowl, basically is what it's going to come down to. So Ohio State, if they want to make the playoffs this year, they have to win this game, just for pride and for one more extra week. They'll be playing Iowa in the Big Ten Championship, so that should be a cakewalk for either one of these teams, in my opinion. Ohio State all day, money line, OHIO.
Yeah, that one's going to be super interesting just because how many points is Jim Harbaugh worth? Because when Jim Harbaugh's been on the sideline, Michigan has been dominant. They started slow at the beginning of the year, kind of switching who's going to be head coach while Jim Harbaugh was suspended. And the last 2 weeks have kind of sputtered a little bit with Jim Harbaugh suspended. I think if Jim Harbaugh is coaching this game, this is a double-digit Michigan victory. But I think without him, they have not looked nearly as good, particularly J.J. McCarthy. This is going to be a really interesting game on Saturday.
I think before we talk about this any further, let me get Jake's picks because his underdog is also Ohio State money line. Then his lock is Colorado versus Utah over 52. But back to what we were talking about, like I think the last few weeks for Michigan, they haven't been like they've kind of taken their foot off the gas, not to show much because I think they know they're going to be in for a battle this Saturday. So I think that's why that might be is what I'm thinking. I don't know. I think they'll be ready with or without Jim Harbaugh. I think it's at -3.5 right now, but I think it opened up at 2.5, -2.5 for them. So
Yeah, it's just been a weird 2 weeks. Like,
yeah,
Maryland's an okay Big Ten team. There's no shame in a little bit of a trap game there.
yeah,
The week before that, running it like 37 times in a row, that's just weird.
yeah.
In a big must-have-it game against a really good Penn State defense, it's just been odd. This whole how they've managed things without Harbaugh.
I will say though, the running it thing, as weird as it was, like that was the way to probably beat Penn State, is shorten the game as much as possible. Because Penn State offenses looked horrible, and the one area of Penn State's defense that's been a little suspect is the interior defensive line against the run. So I don't find that as crazy just from watching Penn State so much this year, but yeah, Harbaugh is a huge difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I like attacking Penn State physically, on the ground. But JJ McCarthy's been maybe the best quarterback in the country this year. And, and he hasn't put up the same kind of stats as like Caleb Williams, but he is, he makes high level throws. He's incredibly smart with the ball. He is an NFL ready quarterback prospect. And to just completely not let him throw it at all, it's just odd.
Yeah, he's QB4 on my board right now. I like him. I think he's probably the most ready to start. Other than Caleb Williams, probably the most ready to start right away.
Do you have Jaden Daniels as QB3?
No, Bo Nix.
Bo Nix. Bo Nix is going to be like 28 years old as a rookie.
I love Bo Nix. I don't care. I love Bo Nix. He is fantastic. He has grown so much, and he manages the game so well, but still has all the physical tools. Love Bo Nix. But now I like JJ McCarthy. I got a weird. I don't know if this is an insult or a compliment. I mean it as a compliment, but I get big Derek Carr vibes from JJ McCarthy, at least coming out as a prospect. Like, he's gonna fall to the second round, but he's gonna produce right away.
Yeah.
See, I gave a comp online the other day that did not do JJ any favors, but I called him like a better Baker Mayfield as a prospect. It's like, these aren't great names, but
yeah,
they're starters in the NFL.
I was going to say they've had pretty decent, like, age-wise careers. So
yeah, like they're both gonna have 10+ years. And I mean, Carr's in his 10th year. Baker's probably gonna be a starter in this league for about a decade.
Years. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's middle of the road right now. I mean,
yeah, he's already like 6 years in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, a better version of that, the top 12-ish quarterback, there's no shame in that.
Exactly.
If you take that in the first round, you will be pretty happy. But we can have more of this conversation in a couple of weeks when the Ducks play the Wolverines in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
All right. So I will jump to my college picks. Excuse me. Oh, I've been fighting this thing off for like a week, and I still not. Like, my voice is cracking and I'm coughing randomly. It's brutal. Okay, so I'm going to start us off with a Friday night appetizer. We are going to the last bit of Maction of the year. I'm taking Toledo -10 against my Chippewas. It's very sad, but this could be Jim McElwain's last game for CMU. He's really underwhelmed these last 2 years. And I think a dominant Toledo performance, which is kind of what I expect because I think they're the class of the MAC. I think that's going to kind of close the coffin on the Jim McElwain era. They just haven't been able to figure it out. The defense hasn't been good all year. It's an inconsistent on offense, which is supposed to be McElwain's bread and butter. I think Toledo slams the door shut on this conference. See you in Detroit for the MAC championship game. Toledo -10. And then my underdog pick, I am taking Colorado plus 21.5 against Utah. That number's crazy to me.
Yeah, I love that pick.
Okay, Colorado probably won't win this game. They started out hot, but have been, brought back down to earth in a big way. But you got to say this about Colorado. They don't get blown out. They score points. I mean, aside from the Oregon game, they've been within 10 to basically everybody. So 21.5 to Utah, who isn't really an offensive powerhouse. I think that's like so comfortable it feels uncomfortable. You know what I mean? That's one of those Vegas trap kind of lines. But I mean, that's just such a huge point differential. I can't say no to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty good lock or underdog for that for the plus 21.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll score a bunch.
I like that as like a 31-20 or 27-20 type game.
Yeah.
Utah will win, but I don't think Utah is capable of scoring enough to cover 21.5.
No.
Colorado's going to get to the high teens or probably 20. And for Utah to cover that, they'd have to break 40, and I don't think their offense is capable of that.
I had to look at that line a couple of times to make sure I was reading it right. Like, is it 2.5? What? I don't understand the line at all, which makes me nervous, but I'm taking it anyway.
Trying to see what it's at now.
That's a good question.
It is.
Going through my sports book. There's Colorado.
There it is. It's 21.5 still.
1.5, yeah.
Colorado's plus 980 money line.
DraftKings has it at 22.5.
22.5. What is up? Why do the books hate Colorado
right.
this week? I don't get it.
Colorado's definitely going to lose, but I think they'll cover 21.5.
I mean, just looking at their losses, they got smacked by Washington State last week. Okay, fine. 34-31 to Arizona, 7-point loss to Oregon State, 12-point loss to UCLA, a 7-point loss to USC. Like, they're in basically all of these games with the exception of 2.
Yeah.
All right. I'm getting into my college picks. This is basically our last week of the college football regular season. I mean, unless you count Army, Navy. But this is essentially our last full week of a college football slate. I am determined to at least finish with a winning record in college football. I got the units, but I want to go above 500. So doing that to make that happen, we're staying with a tried and true team, keeping both my bets in one game for college this week.
Oh,
we're sticking in that Iowa-Nebraska game.
Oh my God.
For my lock this week, I'm taking Iowa-Nebraska under 26.5.
Yeah.
This game is going to be gross, unwatchable. It is a race to 13. The final score of this game will be 13-10 because it's just going to be ugly as sin in. Well, I guess it won't. I was about to say Brian Ferentz's farewell game, but he's going to the Big Ten championship.
Yeah.
Can't get rid of him.
With that, I think it's going to be 13-10 Iowa. I'm taking Iowa money line as my underdog at plus 252. This is one where I had to, like you said, JT, was one of those where you keep staring at the line and it doesn't make sense. Nebraska being a significant favorite to win this game, I get they're at home, and they do seem like on paper. I guess the idea is on paper they're the type of team that should be able to score just enough to beat Iowa, but I don't see it. I don't see their offense doing much against Iowa. I mean, Iowa stopped everybody this year, especially in the Big Ten West. Their defense is legit. Say what you want about that offense. That defense is good. if they have a competent offense, they're probably a top 10 team in the country if they have a competent offense. Yeah, I think plus 230, or I'm sorry, plus 292. I read that wrong. Yeah, plus 292 is insane for that. You can't pass it up. For Iowa to get one more win before the Big Ten championship game, where they will be slaughtered like a sacrificial lamb.
You got those lines perfect too right now because it's at plus 122 for their money line now, and
I got it plus 292.
That's crazy. And then the over under is 25.5 right now, so it went down.
Yeah, on DraftKings it's down at 26, but yeah, it's dropping.
Yeah,
which is insane.
Yeah,
it is wild that Iowa has already locked up their division. They're 9-2, and they're underdogs to a sub 500 Nebraska team.
Yeah, I mean,
and this game is perfect.
I get why they are. I mean, it's just not scoring less than 15 points a game is not sustainable to winning football.
Unless you're Iowa.
Yeah, they find a way.
This game's going to be awesome because it's on Friday at noon. So, like, you just want to, like, take a nap and put a game on.
Well,
on, nap for, like, an hour, wake up, and it's probably going to be, like, a 3-0 game.
This is the game you pass out on your couch with after you eat your hangover breakfast at like 10.
Yeah.
While your wife or girlfriend's out Black Friday shopping, and you just turn on this game and pass out.
You're like, what's the under? I don't care. I'm betting it.
You just pass out.
Yeah.
And then you wake up and eat Thanksgiving leftovers.
Yeah.
And you feel like a zombie.
All right. Yeah, there are a lot of games on Friday. I'm excited for that. So let's get into the NFL. Once again, just slowly ticking away on weeks in the NFL, sadly. But let's get into our bets here. I'm 6-16 looking at this. I'm like just mortified. So I would love to go 2-0 this week in the NFL. My lock is Dolphins versus Jets over 40.5 points at -105. Now, the Dolphins, you don't know what Dolphins you're going to get. I feel like whenever you watch them, they're either going to be the highlight show where they're putting up 30, 40, 70 points.
70, just casually slip that in.
Yeah. And sorry. I think they haven't been scoring like they can the past couple weeks. That Raiders game was surprising. Sorry, Dalton.
No.
I feel like they should have like destroyed the Raiders, but
yeah, they should have.
They didn't. So I think they're due for a good game. I know the Jets have a great offense or a great defense, but still, this Dolphins team can score on anyone. They're so quick. So I think they'll put up a lot of points. The Jets, Zach Wilson's out. Like we were talking about Tim Boyle at the beginning of the show. Maybe he'll just get in there, have some beginner's luck, and be like, I'm just going to sling this thing. He's going to see Garrett Wilson out there just slinging the rock, get going. So maybe this, I don't know. I think we'll see a lot of points in this game somehow, but I just feel that vibe. And then we go with my underdog. I have Giants money line at +140. They're playing the Patriots this week. This game's going to suck. This game is going to be terrible. I know the Giants last week, like surprisingly, like crapped on the Commanders. I think they're going to go back to the Giants we've known this week, and I think this game's just going to like come down to whoever has the ball last. Or I think the Giants will get like a 10-point lead, and then the Pats just won't be able to overcome the 10-point lead. So I'm taking Giants on this one.
a week ago at this time, what do you think the odds would have been if I were to bet a Giants 2-game winning streak? Not great.
Plus 400 probably.
Yeah,
Or million. But no, I like it. The Patriots are terrible. I feel like Giants are a better team, as uncomfortable as I feel saying that about the Giants.
Yeah.
First anyone. And then I love the Jets-Dolphins pick because you've got the most important factor that everyone has to remember when they're making their bets. That's the spite factor. Zach Wilson to the bench, whole team celebrates, they score 50. Doesn't matter who's in there. It's just pure spite driving them.
Yeah.
So I love that pick.
Yeah. I mean, and everyone's on their A game because, like, you have to, like, when you make that decision, you have to, like, prove it was the right decision.
Yep. They have to make this they can't lose by double digits this week.
No.
So that's why they're going to score.
So I'll jump into my NFL picks.
Ooh, Jake, do we want to get Jake's?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's get Jake's real quick. Sorry. So I think majority of us are betting on the Giants game. He's at under points 33.5 minus 108. I'm surprised it's that much to be honest with this game.
This is the Iowa-Nebraska game of the NFL.
Yeah, it really is. And then he has the Texans money line against the Jaguars at plus 100. That's a surprising. I'm surprised by that one. I like that pick though. I think the Texans could beat the Jaguars this week. The spread's only 1.5 right now, and the game's in Houston, so I like that pick.
Jags have been hot and cold. I was going to take that bet for my bet too, but I wanted to change it up, give a different bet, but that was going to be mine I had originally. So I'm all in on that Texans money line. All right, so my NFL picks. I am going with a game tomorrow, a Thanksgiving game. The hometown Detroit Lions are finally going to get their shine on Thanksgiving after 3 decades of my life of them just getting obliterated on the national stage. I'm taking Lions minus 7.5 over the Packers. This is their time to just get out an eternity worth of frustration and just dominate this game. Packers aren't that good. Their offense has really struggled this year. And the Lions have established themselves as one of the best teams in the NFL. So they're going to continue hunting down that 1 seed in the NFC. They're on the Eagles' heels. They're just going to show up, show out, and just dominate this game. I don't think it's even going to be close. And then my underdog. Originally, I had the Texans, but I wanted to change it up. So I'm going Tampa Bay Buccaneers plus 2.5 against the Colts. Colts just cut Darius Leonard, who has had a weird year. I know he's not been the same player he had been since injury. He's really not been happy with his usage. But, Darius Leonard just a few years ago was maybe the best linebacker in the NFL. He had been electric for them. They're missing one of their star defensive tackles. They're starting Gardner Minshew. Colts are not a good team. I don't know how they're 5-5.
Jonathan Taylor.
So, yeah. I just think Buccaneers are better. They're getting points. I'll always take the better team getting points. So, 2.5 plus Bucks.
Now, JT, I think I want to believe that the Lions are just going to destroy the Packers this year. But like you said, watching them on Thanksgiving morning, every year, and then seeing them come out like an old early 1900s throwback, oh, this is cool, and then they get blown out by 20 plus points.
They're wearing those same throwback jerseys. It's
Literally.
I'm just I can't. Part of me wants to think the Packers are going to somehow. Jordan Love's going to come out here and win by 2 touchdowns or something.
Yeah, I feel like there was a long time where it was every Thanksgiving. It was the Lions get down 20, then second half rolls around, Matt Stafford throws a million YOLO bombs to Calvin Johnson and they lose by 7. That was
Yeah.
literally every game. But no, I like that pick. I think the Packers are going to start limping into the end of the season.
Yeah.
I could see them being like, I could see them picking in like the top 10
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah. I
Packers-
think that's what's going to happen. I just like part of me in the back of my head's like, it's going
It's hard to trust it.
Yeah, it's hard to trust it right now.
Would it help if I told you that the Lions were 8-1 in their last 9 division games?
No. It
No,
wouldn't.
none of the numbers help. It's just the line.
No.
If anything, that means they're due for a loss.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. They are like 60 years due for this season.
Yeah.
Actually, I found this out. I didn't realize it was this long, but like they've been playing on Thanksgiving since 1934. The Lions.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah, they are the original Thanksgiving Day game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're always awful.
Yeah. All right. I'm getting to my NFL picks. So, I've just been kind of sputtering along at 500, barely above breaking even units wise. At this point, I really don't have a good feel for the NFL. I've just been lucky to break even each week. So I'm kind of just picking 2 close toss-up games and picking money lines on them. I'm looking at good value. My quote-unquote lock this week, because it's a very much a toss-up game. I'm taking the Cardinals money line at minus 105, calling it my lock since they are minus 105, but I think the Rams are like minus 110 or minus 115. It's a pick'em game. But no, I think the Cardinals with Kyler Murray back, they're not a great team, but they are now back to being, a fringe playoff team with him, because with his talent, they're always going to be in the thick of things. Like, he just makes things happen. I think his talent's going to be what separates them from a Rams team that's very much, they look further and further from that Super Bowl team a couple of years ago every week. I know they pulled one out last week, but they're not a playoff team. I think this week the Cardinals pull it out at home. And then my underdog this week, I am sticking with KC with that Giants pick. I got Giants money line at plus 136. Again, probably a toss-up game, but the Patriots are not good. The Patriots shouldn't be favored against anybody right now. It's rough. The Giants they looked all right last week. Tommy DeVito seems to be finding his ground. I don't think he's that much worse than Daniel Jones. I mean,
No.
let's be honest. It's not like Daniel Jones was the reason they were winning a lot of games. So as long as DeVito can manage the game well enough, they can do enough to beat New England.
Yeah. I totally agree.
A lot of Giants love on this podcast.
I know. I was going to say there was a lot of.
I think it's more just lack of faith in the Patriots.
Yeah.
And also this is an ugly week for NFL.
Yeah, it is. I think. I don't know.
And all the games I kind of feel good about are on Thursday, I feel like.
That's what I was about to say. I think all my favorite games are Thursday.
All the best games are in college this week. This is a great college slate.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's the best week in college football. As a Penn State fan, I hate it because Penn State just doesn't have a true rivalry game. I mean, Michigan State, but no one
That's
cares
like
about the
Ohio
battle for the
State
land.
versus Ohio kind of rivalry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just going to be obliterating.
it's
Yeah,
not
I mean,
fun.
the only game that really has potential is the Bills versus Eagles. And the Bills really, I don't know. All right.
We'll have good food this weekend.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
we'll do our anytime touchdown parlay. This week we're only doing 3 players. Just because there's 3 of us this week with Jake being out. I'm going to go with CeeDee Lamb. I mean, I think they're going to put up a lot of points tomorrow. I think they're the midday game at 4:30. So for us on Eastern time. So I just think CeeDee's going to go crazy. He'll have 100+ yards. I think he'll find the end zone at least once, maybe twice. That's how I'm going with this week.
I like it. I'm keeping it in the same game. I am going with slinging Sammy Howell, tossing it to Jahan Dotson. I think they're really going to try and take away Terry McLaurin. Obviously, he's their star receiver.
Yeah.
Dotson's still a really good player. He's super talented. I think with them trying to intentionally take away McLaurin, it's going to open up opportunities for Dotson. And your NFL passing yards leader is just going to hit him in the end zone.
I like it.
So this week, despite being a Raiders fan, I'm betting against them with my pick. I'm taking Travis Kelce to score. The Raiders are better at linebacker this year, but as much as I like Robert Spillane, he's not covering Travis Kelce. The Raiders don't have anybody that can cover Travis Kelce. Last year, in one of their games last year, he went off for 4 touchdowns. I don't see any, and that was despite the fact that they shut him down all game. He only had like 6 catches the whole game and still scored 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's going to find the end zone once against the Raiders.
Important question regarding that bet. What is Taylor Swift's status in terms of being at this game?
I don't
Good question.
I'm going to have to get that information before I commit
Yeah.
to this parlay.
I mean, she wasn't there Monday, and we saw how that worked out.
Yeah, she did not attend the Eagles-Chiefs game because of the Eras tour.
We'll find out. But
Yeah, everything's about the Chiefs game. It doesn't say anything, or it's all about the Chiefs-Eagles game. There's nothing about the Raiders game yet. But she was stuck in Rio, so I don't know. It
close
might
to
be
Las
a struggle to
Vegas.
get to Vegas.
Yeah. All right. So CeeDee Lamb, Jahan Dotson, Travis Kelce. I'll get that up tomorrow morning or tonight, just because we have a couple guys playing tomorrow in the parlay. Last time we had 3, some good things happened, so hopefully it happens again. Now we have our Turkey Day parlay.
That's right.
All right, Turkey Day parlay. I'll get started on mine. I said I was going to have like my own name for mine. It's nothing cool, and I kind of feel dumb saying it now, but Turkey and touchdowns parlay. I'm taking the over in every NFL game tomorrow. I have over 46.5 in the Packers-Lions. I have over 48.5 in the Cowboys-Commanders. The last one, over 43 in the Niners-Seahawks. That one does scare me because it's a division rivalry game. I don't know how that one's going to go, but I'm taking the over in all of them. You're going to have plenty of turkey. You're going to see plenty of touchdowns thrown, and all the overs are going to hit. If you do that on FanDuel, it's at plus 573.
I like it. You know I like the long odds.
Yeah.
So I'm going to see your long odds, and I'm going to double them.
Okay.
So I'm not going football. I'm going rogue. I'm going college basketball for my parlay. So I'm going to take the over 146.5 in the Michigan State-Arizona game. It's going to be a top 25 matchup. Arizona's number 3, Michigan State's 21. Should be a really good game. I'm taking Iowa plus 1.5 against Oklahoma. I'm taking Florida Atlantic minus 5.5 against Butler. Florida Atlantic is ranked 19, and Butler got blown out by that 21st ranked Spartans team, so I'm hoping for a similar result. And I am taking Vanderbilt plus 7.5 against NC State. because I believe in Jerry Stackhouse and I like the guards he's got on that team.
All right, I like it.
Oh, odds on that are 1166.
Oh,
Nice.
okay, even better.
Well,
I'm going to take. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
keep.
No, I'm going to say I'm going to take that one instead of the one after the show where you add a couple more
Right.
teams.
That's where I go completely rogue.
Yeah.
If you look at my bet slips, I've got like 9 leg parlays.
Yeah.
Weekly. It's bad.
That's
It's
what
just like
everyone-
problems.
Yeah, everyone who watches don't understand he'll add stuff after the show that you guys don't get to see.
No, take me when I'm being logical. When
Yeah.
I'm like, what's one more anytime goal scorer? I'm gonna
Yeah.
bump these odds by 1,000.
All right. So speaking of long odds, we're gonna keep it weird. I am going back to football, but we got some long odds. I got this my parlay, my Turkey Day parlay. My turkey was hanging around 3 Mile Island. It's a 4-legged turkey. We got
It's a turducken.
yeah. We got to start things off. We got NFL. We got the Lions -7.5. Like we were talking about earlier, this seems like they should blow out Green Bay. Just the trajectory of the two teams. And then I'm taking the Commanders +11 against the Cowboys. I just don't trust the Cowboys to blow out any divisional opponent right now. They're just, I don't know. I'm just not in love with the Cowboys. They're just, you can't trust them.
No.
And I like Washington's offense, slinging Sammy Howell. He can keep it close. And then for the last NFL game, we got Niners Seahawks. I'm taking the Niners -7. I just think the Niners they're slowly getting back on track. You know, they had that little hiccup there with the 3-game losing streak. They're back. They're gonna start rolling. And I don't think Seattle I think is gonna struggle just to sneak into the playoffs as like a 7 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they do that, I like the Niners to roll here to win and cover a touchdown easy. Also that night, that's not the only football on. We got some college football. We got the Egg Bowl. Because it's parlay, I played it a little safe. I'm taking Mississippi State +10. That money line's very tempting though. I think it's over 300. But right now we're just sticking with +10, Mississippi State +10 against Ole Miss. Everything about this game is like just a Lane Kiffin choke job written all over it.
Yeah.
You know, they've played great all season. Their only losses are against 2 great teams in Alabama and Georgia. And this is just going to be one, like they should coast through this game and probably lock in a New Year's Six bowl. And they're going to blow it. They're going to be lucky to come away with this game with a win.
Mm-hmm.
I like Mississippi State to at least cover double digits. So with those odds, I forget to run through them all. The Lions -108, Commanders -110, Niners -108, and Mississippi State -110. Combined, though, we got +1251 for this parlay.
It's pretty solid.
Longest
Yeah,
odds of
I
them all.
love the value. And I mean, there's nothing outrageous in there.
No.
Plus, you've got the spike factor for Mississippi State. They've
Yeah.
already fired their coach this year, haven't they?
Yeah, my only worry is I feel like I'm going to regret it because I did ban the SEC. I'm making a special Thanksgiving Day exception and temporarily lifting my SEC ban just for this game only. But yeah, I gotta add to it, make it interesting. And I don't know. I love the idea of Ole Miss blowing the Egg Bowl.
I hope you don't have to learn the hard way again, buddy.
Don't say it.
You have egg on your face.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the puns.
All right. So, oh yeah, let's get Jake's.
Yeah, he's got one.
Yeah, so he has the. I'll actually build this out while we're on here so I can get the odds. He has the Packers plus 7.5.
It's going against us. We're going against Jake on an NFL bet. This is not.
I
good.
almost took the Packers plus points just because, like we were talking about earlier, I've just seen the Lions look like crap on Thanksgiving too many times. Commanders plus 11, but they're at plus 12.5 right now on FanDuel. So I'm going to take that. Then he has the 49ers and Seahawks over 43. It's 43.5 now, so I'm just going to use that. That's at plus 581. So you could adjust to get his exact values if you like. I know you can buy or sell some points. So you could do that. You'll probably actually get some better odds by doing that since the Commanders jumped over 1.5. So yeah, I think I bet all my let me ask you guys this. I bet all of my Turkey Day parlay individually as well. Could that count towards my NFL record if those hit?
I'm not counting it because I've got a 5-leg college
Okay.
parlay
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm running this weekend.
I couldn't afford to individually do it. I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make it its own thing, its own
All right.
parlay world. That's with me
Yeah.
personally. If you want to count it though, I don't. If you're betting them individually, I say count it.
I bet them parlay and I'll just keep it.
You bet them
We all-
individually. I mean, you can.
We
take
all
it.
only get 2 though.
Why don't we see how it turned? Why don't we see?
Yeah,
how
we'll see how it turns out. If it goes 3-0, I might have a different tune. But if it goes 0-3, we'll just leave it out.
I think I might just drop my NHL parlay and just make it parlays in general. Because it's Turkey Day
Yeah.
parlay, and I got another parlay I'm running this weekend. I feel like if you can go like, I don't know, what do you think? 1 of 4, one every 4 parlays. That's pretty successful.
Well, maybe we'll have to start doing like once we get through football season, the parlay tracker or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
This is
'cause
like,
I
yeah,
only
I
do
mean-
parlays for basketball, basically.
We're gonna be, man. We're
We should do a ladder challenge and
What's a ladder challenge?
Yeah.
we'll talk about it off here.
Sounds
But so all right, yeah, I think we do track our parlays though, especially once football's getting over. So I agree with that.
like we won't give ourselves too much credit for the anytime touchdown because we all contribute one piece to that. But
Yeah.
we all build our own parlays weekly, and what we bring to
Yeah.
the show is what will count. But
And I will say it only counts if you tweet the ticket or say it on the show.
I like it.
that's fair. There's got to be evidence.
All right, yeah, we have to have evidence of it.
Pixar didn't
All right.
happen.
Yep, picture it didn't happen basically.
Exactly.
Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about? Any other craziness coming up this weekend?
Let me
Betting on?
let me slip in my college parlay because this college slate is just too good.
Okay.
Just settle
Yep,
for
see,
2.
now he's trying to get them all out here so you can start counting towards his record.
Yeah, I'm building up my parlay resume.
Yeah.
And this is an all underdog parlay because
Okay.
rivalry weekend. I always like points in a rivalry game. So I'm going, and some of these are repeats. So I've got Iowa plus 2.5. Dalton, I think that was your underdog for the week. So I'm in on that. I got my Colorado 21.5. 3 new ones I added to this parlay. Houston 13.5 against Central Florida. I just trust Houston's quarterback to keep them within 2 touchdowns, so I feel comfortable with that game. Vanderbilt plus 25.5 against Tennessee, partly because I think Tennessee is fraudulent, and partly because I think a rivalry game that's going to be semi-respectable. I mean, not really respectable because it's still Vanderbilt, but 25.5 is not terrible. And then I'm going Washington State plus 16.5 against Washington. Again, another rivalry game, death of the Pac-12. I think it's going to be exciting.
I agree. I like that. What are do you have the odds on that?
Yeah, give me 1 sec. Odds on that are 26-12.
Nice. Dang. That'd be a good hit. All right.
Yeah.
Dalton, do you have any parlays you want to?
Nothing new, but to give an update, I think the last episode or 2 weeks ago I gave some soccer picks.
Yeah.
Those group winners in the group stage of Euro 2024 did not pan out. Croatia did not win their group plus 800. Serbia plus 450 did not win their group.
Dang.
Turkey and Hungary actually came out of those groups. But stay tuned. Might have some new we don't start the knockout stage until the spring, so might have to do some research between now and then. Come back with some better picks in the spring for the knockout stage.
All right. Yeah, just getting warmed up there.
Exactly.
I liked it. He owned it. He came back with it. But I don't have any other parlays yet. I'll probably post some for tomorrow's games, though, because I'll have some individuals for the games, especially the Niners game. So I'll definitely be posting some. But like I said, for our anytime touchdown parlay, I'll go ahead and post that tonight. I'll try to get that up there with the odds. That way you guys can see that. Once again, it's CeeDee Lamb, Jahan Dotson, and Travis Kelce. We appreciate you guys listening tonight. For anyone watching, let us know if you follow us. If you're going to take any of our parlays, I know we probably spit out about 20 of them tonight. Or if you have any parlays we should be looking into for this weekend. We really appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you win a lot of money, have a lot of good food, have a good time with the family this weekend. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully with good news. I mean, we have 4 or 5 parlays out there and a bunch of different picks. So it's going to be a long show next weekend going over everything.
Something's got to hit.
Yeah, something's got to hit. So famous last words. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week.